Hello and welcome to leadppc.com. I'm not sure if you're viewing this video on YouTube or on our website, but just wanted to say hello. I'm doing this video for a couple different reasons. One, from an SEO perspective, just like as a marketing thing, it's your web pages actually rank quite a bit better if you have some type of a video on YouTube that references back to the site, because Google's looking for stuff that's differentiated as far as like image content, written content, video content. And the more of those kind of check boxes that you go after, the better. A little bit of background on myself. I have 5 kids. I live in Utah. I have a pretty big Korean YouTube channel where I rap in Korean and discuss geopolitical things with other foreigners in Korean. Also do a lot with NFT gaming, big community kind of around like that crypto space. Anyway, good to meet you. I will also say a lot of people say that they watch my videos and then we end up engaging with them. And sometimes it's doing franchise development lead generation, which we've been doing for 13 years. And sometimes it's helping with consumer locations, which we've really migrated more and more into, because for a lot of years we just helped sell franchises by generating leads. But we've noticed that to help these franchise systems the best, really getting in and more integrated into their company and understanding every aspect of their business, and helping solve all sorts of franchise sales needs, whether it's on the consumer side or on the franchise side, seems to help. I wrote this article originally back in 2019. Right now it's 2023. You may see this video in 2025. It's kind of all the same, but just wanted to walk through some marketing tips that we've learned. So right now it's over the last 13 years of doing franchise lead generation. So this article is called Top 5 Franchise Marketing Tips. I'm just going to give you some of my thoughts on it. You can obviously read the article. When I wrote this article in 2019, we very quickly got into the global pandemic, and I think we lost half of our clients in about 3 weeks because everybody just, if you were a restaurant or you were a restaurant franchise or a gym franchise, like everyone just put the brakes on all of their marketing stuff. But as time has passed, there were all sorts of lessons learned. We definitely got a lot more into home service franchises because those actually did really well during the pandemic. Everyone's at home trying to make a difference in their houses and what have you. And since then, we've had tons of restaurant franchises come back, gym franchises, and the like. As far as tip number 1 goes, this really has to do with your website. And there's a few different aspects to that. One, if you're doing content for search engine optimization, I would recommend either writing that yourself, because no one's going to be able to have your voice better than yourself, or using a little bit of artificial intelligence. I like Jasper.ai. So a lot of times what I'll do, if you look at this article right here, I wrote the intro, I wrote all the top stuff here, and then when I get into additional marketing tips, this all came from Jasper. And Jasper's looking at different websites out there, seeing what keyword information, like it literally uses artificial intelligence, and it helps kind of fill that balance sheet to make sure there's more information and more tips on there. So I'm a big fan of that. There's also some video stuff that I'm learning about as far as how to make videos using artificial intelligence, which is really cool as well. And then on the second tip here is pay-per-click. I would say that you probably want to start with just doing your organic website. And the next one, I would say there actually is a bit of an order of operations. I would jump into pay-per-click next before I do broker networks or portals or anything like that. Because pay-per-click, you control your own destiny. And unlike tip number 4, that has to do with franchise portals, a lot of times, not all the time, but in a lot of cases, someone fills out that form and they are trying to have you add like a shopping cart or check multiple checkboxes so that they can resell that lead multiple times, because the first lead, they're kind of break even, especially if the portal's driving pay-per-click traffic. If it's organic traffic, maybe not as much. But long story short, if you're doing portal traffic, then a lot of times you're competing with tons of other people to call that lead. So you have to be really fast if you're going to be doing that, and the lead quality is typically not as good because they're not trying to pay for the most expensive traffic, they're just trying to get bulk lots of leads. Whereas with pay-per-click, we look at not just what your cost per lead is, but also what your cost per sale is, which you have to have extra data to do that, so that you're not turning off keywords that may be a little more expensive, but are also way cheaper from a cost per sale perspective. The next I would say is franchise brokers. I have nothing I think franchise brokers are a really good way to go. There are lots of groups out there. There's FranServe, there's TES, there's all sorts of different groups out there in the franchise broker network space. Just know that on average, it costs, well, this is a couple years ago, it was about $22,000 per sale is what you end up paying for a deal. If you're a new franchisor, a lot of times that's closer to like $40,000 because the first 5 deals are really hard for franchise broker networks or anybody to sell, especially if you don't have like an item 19, you don't have good references, that's always going to hurt your sales. So just know it's expensive. Whereas for us, if you're like a business opportunity, we see cost per sale as low as $2,000 up to around $12,000. Average maybe, it kind of depends on what kind of a franchise you are, but we see $8,000 cost per sale is pretty common. But every group's different, but it is typically markedly cheaper than franchise brokers because for a franchise broker, they're somehow paying for the leads. Then you have more people, then you have the company has to make money, so it can just be a little bit more expensive. So I would do franchise broker networks after I do organic traffic myself, and then after I do pay-per-click. The next one is going to be franchise portals. I think that can be a good thing to test if you can find. I would probably take your franchise industry and type in something like, whatever that is. Maybe look up ice cream franchise if you're an ice cream franchisor, and see which of the portals out there, like which exact pages are actually ranking, and then see what you can do to get on those pages. Say, hey, I want the leads from this page here, type of a situation. Because what you don't want is you don't want someone who's looking for home improvement franchise and then they happen to click on yours as well as a part of a bundle, and it's just not as strong. And then tip number 5 I have is just be creative. So there are all sorts of things that you can do with like putting signs inside of your company, or reaching out to people through LinkedIn prospector or what have you. And I'm getting a phone call, but don't worry about it because this is just kind of live. But yeah, so if you have any questions, any interest in talking with me, talking with us, then just fill out the form. There's a contact us form. Just fill that out and that will come to us. Actually, we'll have you schedule an appointment right there. So it's easy for you, easy for us. But would love to talk with you. Thanks so much. Bye.